I forgot the name of the show. Thrifting Bitches. Hey guys, welcome to the Reseller Morning Wake Up.
Sure.
My name is Dusty, and I'm going to be your host today. And I told Valerie that like 10 minutes ago that I would take the intro, and then I forgot what I was going to say. So today we are going to talk about everything reselling, and probably poop and pee and bathroom habits and wake up and drink coffee. And wow, I totally was thinking it was the thrifting bitches.
Nope.
The Picker Daily Hustle. That's right. Hold on.
Yeah.
Well, I don't
all
have
the words, all of the vernacular that you don't like.
Oh, welcome to the reselling community. We should all be best friends and help each other. And don't anybody say anything catty, because that's just mean, and we're all here to help each other make money. And at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, ultimately, but sorry, and I was trying to get all that done before we went live. At the end of the day, ultimately, yes, you know, it makes the platform a better place. It you know, as far as eBay, because I think we're all pretty much 90% eBay here. It does, you know, helping people learn how to do eBay better does ultimately help me in my own business. Call that selfish, call it whatever. I call it a nice trade for my time. And but at the end of the day, you know, I was telling them before we started, at the end of the day, if it comes down to like feeding my family, keeping a roof over my head, over the head of my family, or having to piss off a friend or whatever, no, my family's going to come first. Plain and simple. You know, I'm still going to be nice to my friends, like going to an auction together or whatever, and be like, hey, are you going to bid on that? Oh, you're going to bid on it? Okay, cool, or whatever. But at the end of the day, if I really want something, it's whichever one of us comes up with the most money. Whoever's willing to pay the most. Business is business. This is the only business I've ever seen where everybody sings Kumbaya together. And if you don't, you're in trouble. There you go. There's your intro. That was
awesome.
No dirty words. Oh, Beth. Is Beth using dirty words? Oh, Beth's hating on free shipping and smart. And we're not going to mention that word. No, I think that was the dirty word. Don't hate on free shipping.
Watch what you say.
Free shipping. Free ship. I won't mention anybody by name. I'll just do a screen share and show their name because that makes it okay. And you know what, Valerie? I just broke all my promise. I told Valerie right before we went live, I was like, and I won't say anything controversial. She's like, I trust you. I was like, oh no, you shouldn't trust me.
I trust you.
I thought that was a bit crappy to show everybody's name, even though I didn't call out anybody's name.
It was a very passive aggressive way of saying, like, I'm not going to mention anybody's name, and then screen share. I mean, come on. You know, that could have been blurred out and everything else. So, you know, it's all, oh my God, it's also grade school. I mean, seriously. You don't like them, and we should all get along, and blah, 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 and you shouldn't call people by names that hurts their feelings, and you know what? Go screw yourself. And that was directed at nobody in particular, but no, I mean, seriously.
And yeah, I mean, that just proves that everybody's out for themselves.
Everybody's out for themselves?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, y'all are my friends, everything else, but we're competitors in the same business, even everybody in the audience. And at the end of the day, I'm going to watch out for my business. Yep, friends don't pay my bills. There's a really nice way of saying that, you know? Mm-hmm. I just lost all my friends when I said that.
See ya. No.
Oops.
I'm only here because I'm Valerie's friend.
Aww.
Wait a minute. No,
you're everybody's friend. Everybody loves you, Nikki.
Yeah.
Everybody loves you.
Except for one person. person who screen shared my name.
Oh, God.
Well, and about probably 1,000 people on reseller community or reseller whatever society.
No,
Oh,
I mean, like, well, I don't know what all transpired over there, if it got catty or whatever. But no, I watched the video yesterday with the like, let me explain what I'm talking about Smart Post or whatever, and the kind of follow up, not really. Okay, I was wrong. Admission, of guilt, apology, correction. It was kind of I mean, it was okay. The screen sharing part was kind of just odd to me. Of like, you couldn't have just said, hey, I had the following comment and read it.
Right.
I mean, I think that becomes kind of obvious to me that was definitely a plug at let me expose them and make them look bad while I look humble and humbly apologizing for giving bad information about Smart Post. From a psychological standpoint, that's pretty much what it looks like.
Yeah.
Damn, I said we weren't going to talk about that.
Which even if we wouldn't have said anything, if I wouldn't have made the post in the reseller community and the other guy made the post in the video, and me, it all would have been left unsaid. Nobody would have came and said, hey, I screwed up, I was wrong. It would have just went on like there was nothing wrong.
Right. Very, very true.
And all these new resellers coming in and everything else and not quite advanced sellers, they would all thought that it was just all hunky-dory to just skirt around the system.
Well, I think you just have to be really careful. It's like I said yesterday, you just have to be really careful. And if somebody asks a question, in an audience chat or even if it's not based on a question, but you are trying to show one of your business practices or whatever, if you feel like it's halfway misleading to people, or you feel like it might be, not that it's shady or whatever, but, there's just some things that you don't have to share everything.
Yeah.
Especially if it requires a giant follow-up to what you're doing. I'll give you another, for instance, and this is, I have some boxes that are priority boxes that got damaged.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been told by my postmaster that I can use those for some filler, cardboard stiffener or whatever like that in packages, blah, 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 blah. I said, I said, do you want them? No, we can't do anything with them. They're damaged. I said, well, I'm going to throw them away. And I hate to go to I said, can I consider those like a used box or whatever then? And she said, yeah, that's totally fine. Absolutely. We would rather you do that than see them go in the landfill. Mm-hmm. And so I do that, but I'm not going to talk about that on a regular basis on videos because there are those out there that love to look for every little thing you do and rail on every little thing you do. And at the end of the day, sometimes rather than just like talking to hear yourself talk, sometimes you have to pick and choose what you're going to talk about. Sure. On YouTube, because you're going to catch hell from some people, or some people are going to see it. They're going to miss the part where you were talking about, why you're using those boxes, whatever. And they're going to go, wow, I didn't know you could use those. New people are going to come along. They're going to miss the previous 5 videos. And you have to be careful with what you say and do. If you're using this platform to teach people, yes, you are a teacher. And just like any other teacher in life, you plan what you're going to say in your lesson planner. You don't just get up there and on the podium and start talking and not thinking about what you're saying and hoping that it's all going to come out okay and not and you're going to get trolled, and you have to think about things like that.
Right.
And if you cuss, you're going to have to know that there's going to be people out there that don't cuss or that have kids watching. But I think a lot of times people just jump on camera and say and do whatever and don't really think about it. And that was not directed at anybody in general, but I've seen it happen time and time again.
Sure.
Thanks for talking about me.
Blackberry Thistle Tea says that's called picking your battles.
Yep.
I mean, you just have to you have to censor kind of your, the things that you talk about.
Right.
And it's bad that you can't be completely, we try to be as real as we possibly can, but there are some things that you have to kind of hold back on because of scrutiny and so that's just part of it. A lot of people, kind of discouraged me about, doing the show, the reseller show, and just, they said, well, you've got to have a thick skin, and you're going to be scrutinized, and people are going to say probably not so nice things and everything. But if I can, help someone, truthfully, I wanted to be out there for the new resellers that are coming in. I think for the most part, we have a really good panel of experienced sellers. I'm fairly new. I would consider myself intermediate. I don't know everything, and if I don't know anything, or if I don't know something, I'm going to go and ask one of the vets, and get their feel on it. But I wanted, being when I was new, I had the experience of, I tried to be out there and ask questions and find out information and things like that, and I got pretty much chastised for doing that by a lot of people, and nobody wanted to help, basically.
Did they all do the what did your Google search tell you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So you need to do your own homework, all that.
We all know you do need to do homework, but I mean, there's a point where you see somebody in a group over and over again, if they're the kind of person that did their homework, or if they're just a person that asks, like, is too lazy. And you don't strike me as obviously somebody that's lazy. So, I think that's once again where some of the groups and stuff can become too big. Even with YouTube, after doing it for, like, we've done almost 2.5 years or whatever it is, you have to remember every time you go live, you have to almost talk like you're speaking to a whole new group. Even though you see all the familiar faces in the side chat right now, you have to remember there's going to be people watching you for the first time. They're not going to know, why is this lady writing in her car? Maybe that was this guy that just opened up the show, and why is he so grouchy about? They don't know that I'm kidding. Or you just have to kind of remember stuff like that. I got a comment the other day on a video. It's like, and you have to let certain things roll off your back, and they had a valid point. I'm kind of sat and thought about it, but they're like, because I talked in the video, I think about sometimes I'll put, on very few items just to kind of let people know that, hey, it's not covered in cat fur and it doesn't come from, and we don't smoke in the house. I'm trying to think of something I have it on. I don't remember, but I'll put from a pet-free, smoke-free home. And then it dawned on me, I guess, I got used to doing that for so many years. I was like, okay, well, technically, and the person pointed it out in the comments, why would you lie to people? It's the way people come across. Right. I guess it hadn't dawned on me. No. And he goes, your wife vapes and I've seen animals or whatever. Like, I think the one of them just ran by. Number one, the animals, the only time Mahoney ever really comes in here, she'll wander through whatever. I vacuum religiously. I'm going to tell you right now, there's no pet fur on any of the crap in my office. The cats live upstairs. They never come in here, and then they said, well, your wife vapes. And I'm like, okay, vape smoke really doesn't, no. I mean, if somebody's that sensitive that vape smoke from 2 rooms away, whatever, that, and sometimes she does vape in here, that they would actually smell vape smoke. I mean, it's vapor, it's not smoke. It's totally different type of product. Yeah. If somebody is that sensitive, then no, they probably shouldn't be buying used goods online to begin with. That's true. I have a vegetable glycerin allergy. Well, then don't buy stuff online or whatever e-juice is made out of. But no, I mean, Digest Life said people are like food. You won't like them all, and all won't agree with you. And I didn't even respond to the comment. I was like, you know what, whatever. You just have to let stuff roll off your back. Yep. And it's hard when you first start. I think you kind of go through a learning curve. and you want to feel defensive to everything. And then some days if you're having a bad day, yeah, some snarky comments on videos will just shoot you in the wrong direction for whatever reason. But at the end of the day, your biggest friend is just use the delete button, delete the comment. Is it censorship? Yeah, sure, I guess so. But you know what? It's my channel.
That's right.
You do what you
That's
want.
right. I mean, a lot of people say, you know, I got a quick trigger finger. You know, somebody's in there and they're talking smack. No offense, Jack, but you know, they're talking smack, and I'm not gonna put up with it. But like I was telling Sally, you know, I love this group. I love this group that comes on every day. You know, I come on every day. I see the same people every day, and I see new people that come on every day. I love that. You know, I love the fact that we all tend to get along and have fun, and you know, I like that.
And even the new people coming in, they seem to be a good fit too. It works out good.
Right.
I mean, like Digest Life saying, be careful when washing clothes because some people have allergies of soap ingredients. If you have allergies of soap ingredients, don't buy your damn clothes on the internet. Don't buy used clothes on the internet. I mean, seriously. You're going to get whatever we have, which right now is Lavender Purex because it was buy two. It had a coupon on it at Walmart. It was buy two, get one free for the big ass jugs like this. And I got like 3 things of laundry detergent for $12. So that's what you're going to get. If you're allergic to lavender, then don't buy your clothes on the internet. No, but I appreciate it. I noticed you're getting a little sentimental yesterday. And I love y'all too. I mean, it's just what a fun group of people, and I've pulled back quite a bit from YouTube. Really, just I need to concentrate on my business. But we were talking about before the show went on this morning. I love this show. It gives it literally. There's mornings that alarm goes off, and I'm like, oh. But if I wake up and think I've got the morning show, it helps me get out of bed. It really does. And I actually went to bed. That's why I got some energy today. I went to bed early. I went to bed early last night. Of course, then I had to catch up on The Prophet and American Greed on Hulu. I love those two shows.
What's American Greed like?
Welcome to American Greed. Well, first of all, it's Stacy Keach narrating the whole entire thing. So he's got that voice. And the man went in and he came away with billions of dollars. And he just kind of drags everything out. American Greed is like stories of people that scammed people for lots of money. And it's just like a 1 hour, and they'll show, you know, clips of the people being arrested, or here's the house where they, you know, found the stuff or whatever. You don't know American Greed?
I've never seen it.
It's like true crime kind of documentary thing, and they're just 1 hour segments, and every 1 hour thing is different. Kind of like 60 Minutes or whatever. Did she freeze up?
Who?
Oh.
No, I was actually just reading a comment, and it kind of okay, this is a little bit TMI, but if you wear new jeans before washing and you're a female, you can get a yeast infection, among other things, who don't wash clothes.
You know, when my husband was had a bad allergic reaction to some new clothes that he had worn, and he went to the dermatologist and the allergy doctor, and he said that they put formaldehyde in new clothes, and that's like one of the biggest allergies right now is formaldehyde. So you should always, always, always wash your clothes before wearing them because they all have formaldehyde in them.
I think I just got a cat hair in my mouth. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually a head hair. I'm not sure. Probably because I was scratched. I'm itchy when I wake up in the morning. I don't know what that's all about. I have to do my morning scratchy, itchy stuff. But you know, I mean, think about it, Nikki. New clothes are typically coming from some Chinese sweatshop, and you don't know the conditions, and you don't know that. I mean, I'm sure they don't wash their hands after they use the bathroom in Chinese sweatshops. You know. And you don't know. Yeah, it looks clean and pretty, and I think, you know, your brain tells you, oh, it's clean and pretty, and it's in a nice, pretty store or whatever. But
yeah,
you don't know. You don't know who's tried that on before you.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, and that's new and used clothing. You
I
know.
want to get gonorrhea from my new jeans.
But I mean, that's the thing. Who wouldn't, wash their clothes? If they buy something used, I don't want somebody's, stuff all over me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna wash them.
Cooter crawly.
So
you can
that's
kick
just
me
my
off
thought.
that now.
Just imagine how much DNA is on those strips on those bathing suits.
Oh my gosh.
But I will.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this. But I will tell you this. I got your little thing. I said good morning and got your little thing, and I didn't. Okay, I'll send you one back. Tristan's giving me a hard time. I sent her a funny one. But I don't know. I mean, the person had a valid point. The vaping thing, no. I mean, I don't think you need to disclose that someone in your house vapes. Vapes and smoke is two totally different things. And I'm going to tell you right now, as an ex-smoker, I'm going to tell you right now that I have received stuff from people that smoke. It's nobody on this panel, but that were like, oh, I plastic bag all my stuff and keep it in a separate room and put a piece of dryer sheet, whatever, and it still reeked.
Yeah.
And I don't, maybe I'm more sensitive to smoking since I'm an ex-smoker. Maybe, I don't know. I would think I was less, probably because I've been used to smelling it the majority of my life. But now I could smell it. It was one of those, like, literally open the, the priority mail bag and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
And I said something to him about it, and they were like, but I've done this and this and this. I'm like, you still got to be really, really, really careful.
Yeah.
Sherry said if someone has ever farted in your eBay room, be sure to disclose it.
Oh my gosh.
Needs to be a disclaimer when my husband farts.
Oh, you all are funny. You're hilarious.
Holy, it's like the attack of the seagulls. Oofta.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, look at what
favorite.
Look at what my husband bought me the other day.
Sherry said I ate a peanut and burped, so beware if you have allergies.
It's a keychain that says Oofta.
Oh, that's cute. I love that.
Oh, my husband bought that for me the other day.
That is so cute.
It's right there, right along with my SpongeBob keychain my daughter bought me years ago.
Is there any keys on that, or is it just a ring of keychains?
Huh? It's just two keychains.
Oh, okay.
And a bunch of keys. I got my van key, I got my house key, my truck key, my storage shed keys.
I have the ever necessary bottle opener on one end.
There you go.
And the keys, my gym key fob thing gets me in the door of the gym. And then somebody sent me this as a freebie a few years ago. It's a Craftsman, kind of like a little Leatherman's tool thing. And it's like a bottle opener, a screwdriver. This is an adjustable wrench. It's like an 8-in-1 tool or something. I thought it was pretty cool. That's it. I used to carry a lot of keychains, but being a guy, you keep your keys in your front pocket, and I can't stand like bulky. I do love that one though, because it makes it easy to find my keys and pull them out.
Yep.
My husband fixes my car and tells me that I can't have keychains because it's bad on the ignition. So what I do is I have this little clip here. Then I can just take my keys off for whichever place I'm at.
There you go.
And then I'm not weighing down the ignition.
That makes sense. I never even thought about that, but that kind of makes sense.
Tristan,
Then I can have, because the SpongeBob keychain my daughter got me years ago, 2006. It's really heavy, so I don't care to have it. That's on here by itself because I don't care to have this hanging off my ignition because it's so heavy.
Oh, Jason Banana, no.
Hi, Jason.
Oh, sexy girlfriend.
Wow. Yo.
That's awesome.
How is everyone?
Good.
Wonderful.
Great.
I was just coughing up some hairballs.
I was just putting on some used clothes that I got from eBay that aren't washed yet.
I was just rolling around on a cat fur comforter.
Oh my gosh.
Well, don't forget, Yorkies are hypoallergenic, really. So, can't be getting much hair from the little guy.
She really doesn't. Yeah, I mean, she really doesn't. I mean, she sheds. Any animal sheds, but I mean, it's not. I mean, even when I vacuum, and we've got a Dyson, so you've got the canister on the front of it, and I'll vacuum that room in there, empty the canister, I'll vacuum in here. I know I don't have an animal fur problem or anything because it's just like dust in the canister,
Yeah.
Well, it all depends on how clean you keep stuff too. I mean,
here you go. That's it.
If zombies chase us.
Just my morning zombie shirt, that's all.
I like that.
Love those.
It's all how clean you keep yourself too in your surroundings. Because like there was this one guy that I knew, he smoked like a steam engine, and anytime he made food, you would always taste that cigarette smoke in it. Now I cook, and I have never had anybody say that they smelt cigarette smoke or they tasted cigarette smoke. Now anything that because he wasn't clean, whereas I'm clean,
Speaking of it, who let the wet cat in here?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Well, I had to take a shower. I should have turned my camera on. I was at a dirty old last night, and I needed to take a shower.
Did you forget to put your shirt on?
Yeah, I forgot to.
Again,
I gotta write that reminder list. I will say, Jim was a huge smoker, and now that he quit smoking, well, it's been years. He is super hypersensitive to smoke. I will say that. There are some people. I don't know what it is when you quit smoking, because it will be like at an auction, and we both smoke. Him more than me. But anyway, I'll be like, God, that guy smells like cigarettes. And I kind of feel bad because I'm like, oh my God, we used to be those people. And I don't like to criticize smokers, but I will say, it's like, oh, oofta, you stink of smoke,
I don't, the smell of it doesn't bother me. We have friends that, I can still be around it. And I'm like, ooh, I can totally sit outside with, we keep an ashtray on our front porch.
No.
My father-in-law will come over and he'll be like, are you sure you quit smoking? Why is there an ashtray? I'm like, we have an ashtray on our front porch for people that do. Why would you do that? And I'm like, because I used to be a smoker, and nothing sucks worse than going to somebody's house and stepping out for a cigarette and having to figure out where to hide your cigarette butt, or they bring it in and put it in the garbage, which those do stink.
That's even worse. Yeah.
And so, I mean, even when I smoked, I thought they stunk. And, so it doesn't, the smell doesn't bother me. I don't miss it, but I enjoy the smell of it.
I like the smell when you first open a pack of cigarettes, before you light one, that kind of smell, like tobacco smell. But and cigarette smoke, I'm like this, because sometimes you get that real stale smoke that gets on people's clothes and stuff. I don't like that.
That's disgusting. I don't like that.
Now, that being said, Jim, who, like I said, he was big tobacco's biggest supporter. He loved cigarettes. He loved everything. He could smoke it. He chewed. and he will not let you smoke around him. He will not. Smoke is not allowed in his vehicles or anything. I mean, he's a huge hater of cigarettes now. It's funny.
Yeah.
And when I met him, if we were riding in the car and he, like, let's say we had to go to Milwaukee, which is like 4 hours, if he couldn't smoke, he had dip in the whole way down. I mean, he could not be without tobacco in his system at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also the kind of people, black people, that is so nice, Dusty. So many people don't do that. I guess leaving the ashtray outside. Yeah, we're also the kind of people that if you come over and you're a smoker and you say, hey, I hate to do this, but I need to get a cigarette real quick. Hell, we'll follow you outside and we'll all sit in the patio furniture while you talk. I mean, it's just not, because we spent so many years doing it. It's not like, I get it. If we were going somewhere in the car, Tristan's uncle got in the car when we were up at the lake a couple weeks ago, and we had stopped at the seafood market, and he's standing there, he lit a cigarette, and I'm like, dude, get in the car and smoke your cigarette, just crack the window. And he's like, y'all don't smoke it? I was like, I don't care. I'm not going to stick around, it'll just roll your window down. I'll roll it down part of the way or whatever, and hang it up near the, the crack in the window. And he's like, kind of looked at me odd, and I was like, it doesn't bother me. It's not that big a deal.
Wait, I have a friend that smokes. She's allowed to smoke outside, and she has to take her butts home with her when she leaves.
Uh-huh.
That's Jim, and you're not smoking in my. Oh, she asked one time. She's riding in the car with us. She goes, "Do you care if I light up?" And I'm like, I go, "Well, Jim's super sensitive to smoke now with his bad lungs, so no." Which he doesn't have bad lungs, but I don't want him to go on his anti-smoking rant.
Now I will say this: I could never, as a like when I smoked, if I got in the car with somebody that didn't, I don't think I would ever have asked, "Can I light up?"
Me neither.
That's a little bit gutsy, but
yeah. Well, she's known me a long time, so familiar helps.
Yeah, usually if I'm around someone that doesn't smoke, it's not even, I won't even, ask. I'll just go without.
No.
Which
for me, oh, sorry.
It can be difficult.
Yeah, the only time I usually don't smoke around people that don't smoke, but if I do feel the need to smoke, it's only if I'm outside. I would never, ever, even if I got into Dusty's car and he said, I know you smoke, go ahead, light up, I wouldn't.
Yeah. It's funny for me with Jim, because I remember like when we first were dating, he's still smoking, then we flew to Florida, and he's the guy who's loudly bitching in the airport that it's ridiculous that they're segregating smokers and you have to go outside to smoke. I mean, he's like freaking out in the airport about it. He was like totally in love with tobacco, and now he went totally the other way.
Well, they still have. I think some of the airports probably. I asked Tristan. It's funny because when she flew up to Wisconsin the other day, I said, "Okay, here's the deal with Delta. You have to e-cigs. E-cigs need to be in your e-cigs and batteries need to be in your carry-on. You can't put them in your checked luggage." She's like, "Okay." So she put them on there, and I said, "What are you going to do when you stop in Atlanta? Are you going to?" I said, "They still have the smoking. Do y'all remember the smoking rooms? Like you're talking, they had the big with the glass and
yep.
You walk past it, and it would just be a giant cloud with these like faces peeking through it or whatever. And they had them at bowling alleys here too. But she's like, "Lord, no, I'll just vape in the bathroom." I was like, "For real?" I said, "You're going to go to airport jail." She's like, "I did it on the way to Key West and didn't tell you." I was like, "Oh."
Those are pretty few and far between.
Spec.
As far as those little rooms.
The last time I was in one was at the bowling alley here in Huntsville. It must have been 5-6 years ago because that's when I smoked, and I remember walking into it and smoking one cigarette and coming back out and been like, and I literally went, damn. I mean, and there wasn't anybody else in there smoking. It was just that city and
I think it's disgusting.
That stale smell like that, gross, is disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
But the smell of an actual burning cigarette doesn't bother me.
Yeah. I can't stand the smell of stale cigarette smoke.
I don't like the smell of cheap cigarette smoke. Like low-end cigarettes, I don't like the way they smell. And I always said if I can't afford to smoke good cigarettes, then I ain't smoking.
You can tell a difference.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like if you smoke something like American Spirits or some kind of like shitty low end generic, yeah, you can tell the difference.
I felt the reason cigarettes. I mean, now they actually anger me. The reason is I felt betrayed because they were my friends. They were my reward for doing something. I'd cut the grass. I'd have a cigarette. I'd drink a beer. I'd have anything you did. It's like, oh, I'm going to wrap this up by having a cigarette or taking.
I'm going to make him sit down because right now he looks like the Marlboro Man.
So I would always reward myself with cigarettes, and suddenly I was having physical changes that were caused by smoking, and I felt betrayed. I felt like, here you've been my friend, or I thought you were my friend, and now you're trying to kill me. So it's like we're in a relationship, and now you're trying to kill me. So I mean, that's kind of like it's weird, but that's what's in my mind. So it's not like I'm hung up on it's not the smell of cigarettes. It's like showing me a picture of an ex that ran off on you, or an ex that was treated you really bad. When you see that, it's like, it makes you angry, and that's what happens. That's why people drive by. Oh, that guy! Look at that young kid smoking. Well, they can't smell the smoke in their car when they're driving by, but it makes them like, oh, that kid's ruining their lungs, or what, and it makes the person angry. And I guess I mimic those people when I quit, because when I quit. It was like, what is something that everybody who quits and never goes back, they can quit cold turkey, they never go back to smoking, is I found a common thread was that they all are reformed, obnoxious, cigarette haters. And that was the thing I found that was a trait of all successful quitters. So I adopted that, and it was pretty easy to slip in.
Yeah, because
I treat it like a bad relationship. It's like, oh man, why did I ever do
Remember
that?
when we first started dating, you felt like you needed to help me because I was a girl, and you tried to help me stack hay, and then you'd be freaking out, and your face would be all red and stuff?
It didn't, I was fine until, I think, I quit when I was about 40?
No. When we started seeing each other, you were 38. You probably were quit by 39.
Yeah, so 39 about is when I quit. But
you had a couple relapses by 40.
Yeah, I started getting health problems. And that's why I did it. So, but that's why you get these people like, oh, smoke on the clothes. Well, they know it's not the smell of the smoke on the clothes. It's just that they're anti-smoking. It's like people are anti-gun or anti-abortion or pro-life. They really. It's not just. You know what I mean? They're fanatics. They're hung up on it, and I became one. So, guilty. Rant over.
That's a good subject, though.
I was trying to find.
I'm one of those smokers that won't smoke in front of a door of a place either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, like listening, like I said, like he loved tobacco. I mean, you couldn't say anything bad about cigarettes. He was mad in Wisconsin when they made it where you couldn't smoke in bars anymore. All that stuff. I mean, it made him irate.
Somebody was asking, and they've asked again. Digest Life was asking, has anybody heard that eBay is starting immediate money transfer for 25 cents? PayPal is, which I think is what you meant, but
yeah,
it says we are adding terms for a new faster withdrawal option. If your debit card is eligible to receive faster withdrawals from your PayPal account, you'll be provided the option to use it when you transfer money out of your PayPal balance. So I don't know what kind of debit card that means. I mean, like, I don't know if my credit union debit card is eligible to receive deposits to it like that.
I just go to the ATM.
I do too. I just pay
because like
Jim
has one PayPal card in his name and one's in my name, so each card could pull out $400.
400. That's what we do.
So then you can pull out $800 in a day if you have to.
On the same account, which is a little bit silly, because they have your $400 limit on a draw. But if you have two cards on the same account and two different, you'd have to have two different names, you can draw $800 a day with the two cards.
Huh.
In fact.
Yeah, we'll just sit at the same ATM. I'll put my card through, do it, and then he'll hand me his card, and I'll put his through and do it. Bam, $800.
We bought a truck at an auction, so we needed a bunch of cash out of PayPal. So we just ran around, and because a lot of these gas stations got a limit on how much you can take out of their ATM, so we're running around these different gas stations hitting all their ATMs.
Yeah, but Jim, did you ever wait till like 11:58, withdraw the 800, and then wait till 12:01, and then withdraw another 800?
No.
Oh no.
Well, because each card has a $400 cap.
Oh, yeah,
because
right.
midnight. Okay, I get
Yeah,
it.
except you probably have to do it midnight California time, and
Yeah,
we're
probably.
Central, so we'd have to do it at 2 a.m. But yeah, that'd be fun. Pull it
I
out
just
all
thought of that.
in a nice sketchy neighborhood.
When we went to Texas to buy that truck,
Yeah.
we didn't know the guy's name or anything, and of course we're going to try to chew him down on the price. So I couldn't get a cashier's check, so we had to take $15,000 in cash with us on the airplane. And I told Gary, I said, "What's going to happen when we go through security and they see me with all this money? What are they going to think? Am I a drug smuggler or what? You know?" And I'm here. I got a last minute ticket down to Texas, almost to the Mexican border.
One
And I got
way.
$15,000 in cash on me. What the hell are they going to say?
Well, I'm sure they wouldn't be thinking stripper.
Exactly. My husband called ahead. He goes, "Yeah, we have to bring cash with us to buy this truck and whatever. And what's going to happen when we go through security?" So they told us to get a supervisor right away. And they would, and plus also, whether they believed me or not that it wasn't for drugs, are they going to pull this money out in front of God and everybody's going to know that I had this money on me? You know? I
Yeah.
thought, oh crap, what am I going to do? Because you can't just go down there and take it out of an ATM, and those people down there ain't going to take a goddamn personal check from me for,
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
I wouldn't take a personal check from you. So apparently the way I was reading while you were talking, apparently the way it's going to work, it's just going to process as a refund to your debit card, like my credit union debit card. It'll process it as a refund, which is the way Square Cash apparently has done it for years. So it'll post instantly to whatever debit card you have, your credit union or bank or whatever. They're also going to allow Venmo, which if you're not familiar with Venmo, I have actually used it to sell stuff to other resellers. It's I think it's fee free. Don't quote me on that one. I don't remember. I think that's why Brock Parks and I used to use it, and to when he buy or sell stuff back and forth to each other. And but I was reading the fine print. I didn't realize Braintree acquired Venmo in 2012. And in 2013, PayPal acquired Braintree. And PayPal has let Venmo be Venmo since the acquisition. So apparently they've owned, I didn't know they owned Venmo all along. So that's going to, and it says Venmo is popular. It's, according to this article, it's a millennial service that most people under 30 love and use Venmo all the time. And most people over 30 have no idea what Venmo is. So that might be cool. It'd be worth signing up for and adding it as a payment option. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything. And according to the PayPal update, they're going to have the same purchase protection program as PayPal.
So your alternative to PayPal is another company owned by PayPal.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Or BidPay. What was the one where you could get online and you could pay for a money order and Western Union would physically mail a money order to somebody?
Wasn't it just Western Union?
I don't know.
I think it was BidPay.
Oh, maybe it was. I remember BidPay, but I don't remember the actual service.
Because I learned to know what their envelopes look like. They were one of those windowed envelope kind of things. So you know when you went to your P.O. box, you're like, yeah, it's a money order, you know.
God, remember those days?
Yes, it was BidPay. It was rebranded as Western Union Auction Payments.
And back then, the postal service wasn't as quick as they are now either. So it took so long to get paid.
I mean, I do remember. I liked those days. It was nice, but it was also kind of a pain in the butt because you had to go to the post office every single day. And then you had to sign the back of each one of them, and you had to write down on a piece of paper before you deposit them so you wouldn't forget, received this from this and this from this and this from this. And you had to go through the bank drive-through and fill out the deposit slip, which half the time I'd have to use like an extra row or whatever. They're just nice though.
It's nice because you didn't have to do any taxes on all that cash.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Back then, it was all tax-free.
So back to the subject of sometimes you just shouldn't say things in a video.
I missed. Oh, come on. Like, anybody ever claimed that shit on their taxes? It was reported.
all right, I gotta go, guys.
On that note,
I say it the way it is.
there you go.
Just one, in a bar parking lot, I took in a bunch of money and I didn't report it.
Whoops.
I was on the other end of it. I mean, back then I wasn't really selling on eBay, but I was buying a lot of stuff and a lot of like war stuff, stuff you can't buy anymore on eBay, military souvenirs or whatever. So some of the stuff was pricey, and I would hate it. I'd have to go to the post office, always be getting these stupid money orders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why can't they just take a dang check? Of course, now being on the other side, I know why you wouldn't take checks.
Yeah.
I had a guy send me a check several months ago, from Gunbroker. Sent me a personal check, and then he's like, a couple days later, I marked it as payment received, and I think I even messaged him or whatever. The problem was it was a totally different name than the registered everything on the account. And I ended up I called the bank, explained the whole story. Of course, banks, freaking 9/11, you can't discuss jack crap anymore. You used to be able to, they used to have merchant verification stuff when we were in the grocery business. You could call with a check, and we had a whole list next to our phone in the office at the grocery store of the different banks' numbers, and you could call and you'd punch in the account number and you'd punch in the amount of the check, and it would tell you if it was good or not.
Right.
I mean, you can't do, I get it, but I mean, why we can't do it anymore or whatever, but you can't do any breathe anymore. And so the lady at this bank in like Wisconsin or whatever, we'll blame it on Wisconsin since we got people here from Wisconsin. I think it actually was though. She's like, I can't give you that information. I said, well, let me explain my concerns. I don't need an answer if it's good. I just need to know and she said, I tell you what, let me get a hold of the account holder, verify. If it's not, I will call you back. If he says, hey, I lost a checkbook or whatever. She actually called me back and she goes, he was aware of it. He did say that, he purchased something off Gunbroker, but he had one of his employees at work do it because he didn't have an account. I was like, oh, okay. But I still held the check for like 7 or 8 days. Or no, I deposited it, but I didn't hold it, but I held the item before I shipped it. It was $100.
Where's Sally today?
He said in Wisconsin, you just trust everyone.
Oh.
If they tell you the check's good, you just take them at their word.
Yeah, I didn't. Everybody's talking about Venmo. Guys, don't feel bad until Brock told me what it was. I didn't know what it was either, but I've actually used Square Cash is pretty easy too, because I do some movie codes and stuff. I'll buy like Voodoo movie codes so we can own the, people buy and sell the codes, and so you own the digital copy. And some of the Google Plus groups that I'm in, there's a couple of people that have done away with PayPal, and they only accept like Square Cash or Google Payments. Google Payments I can't get to work. I've tried to sign up for it, and it tells me, I guess because we do YouTube, it tells me that I have a business account, so I'm not eligible, whatever that means. But yeah, they're super. Like the Venmo one is like, you literally.
I don't want to pack the bobblehead. I'm scared of it.
Like it saves somebody in here. Brock Parks paid you, blah blah blah, and you literally just click a button. It has the person in there and sends them the money instantly, and you suck it out instantly to your bank account too, which is pretty awesome.
Cool.
Mr. Sadie loves Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
I tried to get home Sally this morning, but yeah, I know she had to work last night. So. Home and went.
I don't understand that whole Bitcoin thing, how you get paid with that.
Resale Ronan, if you remember Paul would resell Ronan, he would do that at the end of his show. He'd always say Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Bitcoin you'd never actually get paid with, Nikki, because it's just you don't actually own anything tangible. It's virtual currency, which I guess, you know, kind of in a way all of our currency is, if you want to get into that whole deep discussion. But it's a virtual currency, so in order to really ever get your money out, you just have to buy something with it.
Yeah.
Or somebody, I guess, could buy your Bitcoins from you and pay you through, you know, PayPal or cash or any other method. I guess you could sell them. It's kind of like, I did a whole lot of reading. It's complicated, sort of. I mean, it makes sense, but it's really fascinating to sit and read about. It still doesn't make a whole lot more sense to me, but.
So? Oh. You want me to wrap them in the anti-static then?
I'll be right back.
Walmart bags.
No, I'm talking serious, asshole.
Hey, radio edit.
Blame it all on my roots. I showed up in boots.
The word on your show.
Oh yeah, no, seriously. You want me to wrap them in the anti-static thing?
No.
Oh, I think I'll do some shout outs. Yeah, like I was saying before, I tried to get message Sally this morning. She didn't go through so many times. I mean, she didn't tired. She didn't get much sleep yesterday. That's all right. She said she's committed to doing the show next week, so y'all will have something to watch. All right. So shout outs. Kurt S. Sam from Tempe. Betsy. Lawyer Stacker. What's up? Larry Lafferty. Miss Dawn Harley Woman.
Oh boy.
Going Grumpy. Tiffany. Blackberry Thistle Tea, Barnett, Turtle Trader. I haven't seen Jack in here. Jack Smack. Kind of weird.
He got tired from talking too much shit.
Oh gosh.
That guy's funny as hell.
Maureen, the free file picker. Good morning. I just like. Mary O.
Mary O.
There's Margot from Florida's Hidden Treasures. Miss Tristan.
Oh.
Let's just play what's up.
Anybody else? Sherry, the Cheerful Nest.
Sign to get home.
You know, I used to go to a auction. The guy would say, I don't know if he was just boring or he didn't know how to auction or or talk the talk, but he'd just go da 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 dollar. Da, 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 da. That's all he would do.
Well, I go to a horse. Oh, sorry. And he'll go like 100 a potato, 200 and a potato, and a potato, 100 and a potato. He switches it between potato and tomato. And I call him Big Daddy because he has like these huge men's gold rings on his fingers, and he wears the cowboy hat. He looks like a real dime store cowboy, and he's real heavy, really like super heavy set. He's very rich, but anyway, yeah, it's funny. And then he just, instead of like having like a cadence, just yells the number louder. I mean, it goes over the speaker and it'll just about break your eardrums. It's nuts.
And in the hallway, when you walk into the auction place, it's like a barn because they do livestock auctions. They have all down this long hallway a picture of every animal he's ever killed, him with the animal. And they like go to Africa and, gazelles and water buffaloes and all these other animals. But it cracks me up because there's this one, he's sitting there, he's kneeled down with a dick, which is, if you don't know what that is, it's a deer about the size of a chihuahua.
Yeah, it's like this big.
It looks like somebody shot a min pin. I'm like, oh my God, and he's got this big high-powered rifle with a big scope. I'm like, ooh, yeah, you the man.
He has these murals painted for his like African Deadliest 7 Killed or North American whatever 7. He has these huge murals painted of these animals that he's killed and stuff. He takes his hunting to the next level.
I'm not against hunting or anything. I mean, I deer hunt, but I mean, this guy takes it the way, yeah. It's like he's got it's like a vendetta.
So how do you want me to pack these now before you run off?
Just put the 4 of them together on top of a 11.5 by 11.5 piece of styrofoam
and wrap it down.
And wrap it tight to the thing with the cords in there. Put the cords next to them and wrap in 4 cords, 4 power supplies.
All right.
And we still got $50 worth left. We still got those 2 left. What do you think of that?
Not much.
Mr. Sadie says, does anyone else have a gay rights flag next to their YouTube logo? I do not have one.
I see it on the main
yesterday. I think I did yesterday.
I put it on the main page.
Does anybody have a what?
A gay pride flag.
Oh, on their Facebook?
On their YouTube. Yeah, I think I had one there yesterday.
Yeah, I had one yesterday too, but I thought it was a French flag. Oops.
Nice.
I'm terrible with flags.
Oh, okay. Okay, Jay. West Mariposa, West entrance to Yosemite National Park. Okay, gotcha. I know where that's at. Somewhere around that area.
If I would have realized that you could put a flag on there, though, I would have, because I support gay pride.
Absolutely. That's one thing that I went to. My sister came out, and I didn't really understand. I mean, I knew she was gay or whatever, but I just didn't. It didn't click. And she asked me if I wanted to go to Pride with her in San Francisco. Sure, why not? Sounds like fun.
Oh, I bet San Francisco, that's one hell of a party, huh?
Oh my gosh, it was pretty crazy. But it really was an eye opener for me. I mean, I'm not gay; I'm completely straight. But it was an eye opener to the fact that I just seen 2 women and a couple of kids or a kid. It was just 2 people that love each other. I mean, that's what it is.
Yep.
Whether you're guys, girls, whatever, they're just like everybody else, and for some reason seeing that really, kind of opened my eyes and everything. So there's Jack. How are you, Jack?
Oh, time.
I know. He's been slacking.
We've been talking shit about
Too
you.
long.
They've been talking smack about you, Jack. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys, this is kind of off subject, but what is it, right? When I was down in Texas, the people we bought the truck from, she was telling me, because I was telling her, because there was a big spider on the side of the truck. And I told Gary, I said, before you hand any money over, I said, you guys got to get rid of that spider. I said, I ain't taking that back to Minnesota with me. Well, anyway, his girlfriend or wife or whatever she is tells me that they have these things called tarantula, hawk, wasp. And you really should look those up on YouTube. It's crazy. It's this wasp. And it goes and takes down a tarantula. It stings the tarantula and paralyzes it. And then it lays its baby on the tarantula, and the baby eats on the tarantula for like 31 days or whatever.
Yeah, I've heard about those.
I've never heard of that.
That is like some sick shit. The animal kingdom is just weird. I mean, there's some crazy stuff going on in the animal kingdom.
No
You
doubt.
don't think of that stuff. Well, anyways, I was watching a YouTube video, and this little wasp is like dragging this tarantula to its hole. And I was like, wow.
There's some crazy shit on the human kingdom too.
Well, I know, but
$1.
anyways, if anybody's interested in that, go look it up on YouTube. It's a tarantula hawk wasp. Pretty interesting. Anybody care?
I'm going to do that from now on. $1.
I had to stop, I actually had to stop going to those because he bugged me so much for saying that.
You know that auction that we went to the other night, me and Scott and Jim, and you know, I'm really thinking about going to auction school. Number one, if you're a good auctioneer and you're funny and you don't have some little annoying thing like that, or maybe you do and people like it or whatever. This guy the other night was dry as hell. I mean, like, he seriously he didn't crack a joke. You know, we obviously stood out, the three of us, as like, you ain't from around here, are you, kind of thing, you know, because it was all regulars and there were probably like 20 people and 3 middle-aged guys sitting together on the back row. I mean, that's kind of obvious, all buried in their smartphones. And we bought a ton of stuff. And, you know, like, we checked out a little bit early right before the end, and we're walking out. And I'm thinking, you know, a good auctioneer would kind of pause in between items and say, hey, you three, you know, thank y'all for coming out. You know, hope y'all come back. Not a single word. Like, didn't joke around one single time the entire 2 hours we were there. Not one he made not one funny. The whole time. And I'm like, that's just boring.
Yeah.
You know, if you had a personality and were a good auctioneer, there's one I go to there's one I go to fairly regularly that's more antiques. That guy's funny as hell. He's the one that I've told you all about that, but he's the one that'll say, hey, look right here, this is imported, and he'll look on the back and flip it over and be like, Chinna. Oh, made in Chinna, Tennessee, right up the road, you know? And he'll just make little funny things like that. And that really makes the difference, I think, between a good auction and a bad auction.
Mine will say, hey, come on, cheapskate, bid. Or if somebody's standing, one of the regulars are standing by them, he'll raise their hand for them. You know?
Kurt said the auction house I go to, the auctioneer's daughter is the runner, and she constantly heckles him all night. See, that's awesome. That's what I'm talking about. And that makes for a fun auction. Yeah. That and a good snack bar. The one the other night was like candy bars, chips, and some Cokes in a cooler. And that was it. And they were on a rack. And it was like the lady that was running the thing was taking care of her grandkid running around. And so you just kind of like left the money on the table there or whatever, you know? And they had the room, you know, hire somebody, find some food truck company or find something, you know? But it explained to me why they probably only had like 20 people there.
Yeah.
I like when you get like that pissed off auctioneer, you know? come on, people, friggin' bid already.
All right, I
Or
love
people
y'all.
are,
I've
or
got-
if people are getting too loud, he'll downright yell at people.
I got to go handle something. So yeah,
Sorry.
but
That was weird.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, I like our one auctioneer because if people get too loud, he'll yell at them and tell them to shut up. Trying to run a business here, you know.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing.
Huh?
Yeah, but I mean, that's a good thing. I would
Yeah.
expect an auctioneer to do that if it's not
Because I've been at other auctions where people are blah 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 blah, and you can't hear a damn thing, and they don't say anything, and then I have to, you know, because I'll just tell them shut up, I'm trying to hear, you know.
I messaged Sally again and she didn't answer. So I'm assuming that she's asleep. Which is okay.
She's probably sleeping.
I didn't get much sleep yesterday, so completely okay. Thunder going on right now. Yeah. The major storms here.
Who's crying?
Sorry,
Who's crying?
I started up YouTube so I could see the chat.
Oh,
I hadn't been watching the chat.
Oh, it's Tara.
Oh, that's what you heard. Okay.
Yeah, I heard crying.
Will you shut up?
there's no crying in baseball.
No, he wants to be babied.
Tara's so comforting.
I had to run outside, and I should have taken her with me because otherwise she sits in here and yodels.
Yo,
You mute the computer.
man, now you got me hungry. I want a yodel.
That made you hungry?
Yeah, I've had a
The
yodel
dog?
forever.
Oh, a yodel?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Sounds like a whipping waiting to happen. That's right. What was, was talking about Sally's thumbnail the other day. The one where she looked like she was crying. Y'all made her cry and she was pissed. I don't know what that was all about.
Anytime you get acting real good, she'll cry.
Well, this is true. This is very true. Beth said, can we have an extra long show party tomorrow since you're leaving? Oh, I don't know. Felt like a bomb boy
boots to kick her out the door.
Yeah, I kind of have it's going to be a busy weekend, just trying to get ready. I've got to take the dogs in on Saturday to the kennel, and then I have a niece that's moving on Sunday that I might need to help with, so it's going to be kind of a crazy weekend.
And you're leaving on Monday?
Yeah, I live Monday afternoon. I think it's at like 1 o'clock or something like that. And then I'll get there about, I think it's 5. stop in Denver. Yay.
Oh, you don't get to fly right through?
No, it's very rare that you find a flight that I can only fly Southwest because I take two suitcases. I take a full one and an empty one. So that way if I find any treasures out there, I can bring them home. And then because the bags, you get two free bags. So that's the way I usually go.
Nice.
You can, I think the bags can be 50 pounds. So I figure I'll go out there and do me some shopping.
Yeah, I know we were in Texas on the weekend, and I kept seeing rummage sale signs, but Gary's like, gotta go.
Oh God.
But he didn't mind stopping at a few pawn shops.
Oh yeah.
Of course he didn't.
In Oklahoma City, he stopped at a thrift store for me, but it was a piece of crap thrift store. So.
Should have got one of those.
Did you buy the truck off eBay?
Huh?
Did you find that truck on eBay?
No.
Did you find it on eBay? No.
Mm-mm. I got it off of Craigslist. Wow, I'm sitting here in this parking lot, and I just saw that girl who was like the most popular girl in our school, and she looks rough.
Oh boy.
All that tanning she did as a teenager, she's got like leather skin now.
Woo.
Yeah.
Wow. And she looks like she's about 80 years old. I gotta get out of here before she wrecks me.
Beaver wants to start chatting with you.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to her. I'm talking to you guys.
Aw, we're so special. Let's see here. Mother's Mustache. Well, I'm subscribed to all of y'all. So if anyone decides to do a live show while Val is on vacation, I'll be there. Okay.
I think Sally said that she's gonna try to do it all.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, don't look at me. I don't even know how to use the YouTube thing.
Oh,
I don't.
It's not rocket.
I would love to help Valerie out, but I do it on my phone, so I don't know how that would work.
Yeah.
I'm lucky I managed to find this show.
Otherwise, I would love to help Valerie out while she's gone, but it doesn't bother me now.
Well, and I was telling Sally, I think I'm going to what was I going to say? I lost it. It's gone. I'm thinking about doing a vlog while I'm gone.
You should.
So I just got to figure out how to get my videos off of my phone, get them onto.
Just go to Wi-Fi and upload them right onto YouTube. You can upload right from your phone now on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, even I can do that. So you should be just fine.
I remember when I used to have to send my videos. My videos could only be so long because I'd have to send them to my daughter, email them to my daughter, and it could only be so big, and then she'd have to go and upload them onto the computer for me. I couldn't do it from my phone. Or I'd have to wait till I was near a computer to do it.
The other Jason said that he put on, because I guess he does merch, and he made a chick picker shirt.
Oh.
So I'm gonna go over there and see if I can get it.
Cool.
Mr. Sadie says, yep, just hit share and hit the YouTube. At least on Android. Not sure about. I have an Android, so it shouldn't be too difficult, I wouldn't think. So, but I do plan on doing that. And there's going to be times where we're not going to be doing anything, and I might just do a random show. So, I won't leave y'all hanging. But I can't wait. I'm really excited to see my daughter and my grandson and
Yeah, that'll be fun.
yeah, that would be a cool shirt too, Grandma Magic Classics. The maybe like the Picker Daily Hustle. Huh. That would be kind of cool. Or Daily Hustle. Yeah. We'll have to get Jason to make some up for us. Yeah, that's the thing about that's what I'm looking at right now is doing a lot of juniors and clothing and stuff like that. Clothing that like teenagers would wear and such. So no poop conversation. Grandma Magic Classic says, I have thought of trying merch more for fun than anything else. I think it would be cool.
There's another t-shirt one that Sion Save does. And she seems to really like that one.
Huh.
I don't remember what it's called though. Oh, T Public, I think.
Okay.
So if you can't get onto merch, there's other options to sell t-shirts.
Right.
I'm not creative enough.
I think it's a great idea. And I always, especially with Mike, I mean, he had so many little phrases and hillbilly terms and stuff like that. I can't say that I would make a killing because I don't know a whole lot about it, but I would have fun with it. I think it would be a great little, just a kind of a hobby type of thing almost. Teespring, yeah.
Well, Teespring, I think Teespring, don't you have to sell so many before the order will go through or something?
I don't know.
Whereas
I don't know.
is where you can go on and you can put your designs in and you can sell them right away.
Yeah, Jason says, sounds good. You all give me some feedback and I'll change the design to whatever. Okay. No problem there. Thing is, have one go viral. Everyone is going to jump on it. That's true. The thing is, if you have one go viral, I didn't read that right. The thing is, if you have one that goes viral, everyone is going to jump on it too. Yeah, and that's, all it takes is one, so you just have to, I don't know. I just think it would be fun. I'm always thinking of little things that I could,
Here, I'll put
little sayings or whatever. So I think that would be fun. I guess it's still raining outside. So I had 3 go out today. Nothing big. Bread and butter. Oh, excuse me.
Have fun.
What does he have to split?
Gonna list some today. Aw, the other Jason. Thanks, Blackberry Thistletea. I'm planning on a nice vacation with my 39-cent royalty. Everybody deserves a vacation.
Hey Valerie, I want
Uh-huh.
to tell you guys something funny. I'm probably off topic because I'm just going back and forth because I'm going out to the arena to go make crates. But I was talking on the phone to my own sweet mother like 2 days ago, and she said something that just shocked me. We were talking about eBay sales or whatever. She goes, "Yeah, well, it must be nice. It must be nice, to have something that you can do and make money and have absolutely no pressure. No deadlines." Nobody breathing down your neck. I'm looking at her I'm thinking, well, she's on the phone, so I'm not looking at her, but I'm like thinking, are you from outer space?
Yeah.
I do absolutely no concept. I'm out there trying to build these crates. I got people buying 3 or 4 crated things a day. I'm trying to keep up with it. I'm just about ready to jump off a cliff. And I have my mom, oh yeah, you have no stress. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I don't know why, and I'll just say, well, thank God. But the last 4 days, it's like the eBay floodgates have opened up for some weird reason.
But it's just funny that even your own family does not have any concept of what you do. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's not like you work or anything. You just get the stuff for nothing. And
Well, in her defense, he's not there every day with you seeing it.
No, that's true. And
like my husband and my kids, they honestly think I don't do it. Well, recently I haven't been doing anything, but they don't think it's that big of a deal.
No.
Jim's father used to do something funny, and this is when we were still baling hay. He'd say, "Oh yeah, well, baling hay, that's just pure profit because you just sit there and watch the grass grow, and then you just go out there and bale it." And I'm like, you know how much work it is to bale hay? But anyway,
and lime and fertilize and seed and turn.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a lot of freaking work. Nothing for it.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't understand what goes into something. If you don't do it, if you don't see it from start to finish, I mean, it's hard to know.
oh my God, I finally printed a label. Christ's sake. Yes, it is a lot of work. I will say, when you do this, you'll work harder doing this than if you worked a 9-to-5 job. Because a 9-to-5 job, you can take breaks, or when 5 o'clock rolls up, you don't have to think about your job anymore and stuff like that. With this, you do it all the time.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but you will work very hard at it.
Yeah. And your mind is always going and thinking, and yeah, I completely agree.
We're sitting at a restaurant looking at the name of the silverware.
Well, I haven't done that one, Nikki, but you are the silverware queen.
If I come over to your house and
I've never done that.
It's
damn, that's a good idea.
How much of this flatware can I fit in my pockets?
That'd be messed up. I don't know why I do it. It's just habit, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, if I see if I'm at a restaurant and they got a nice piece of silverware that's or flatware that's really heavy and really nice,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I won't hesitate to look and see what brand it is.
I think it used to be
It's not like I'm going to take it home with me, or offer to buy it, but I just do it.
I think it was the Three Stooges where they're sitting down at a table. They sit down in this fancy place and they pick up the silverware. They take a look at it and then they put it in their shirt pockets while they sit at the table.
Yeah, my dad caught me one time. He says, "Checking out silverware." I was like, "Sorry, Dad, for a second."
Why are your pockets clinky?
Why are your pants falling down?
Bubble envelopes that are over there.
How many
Thanks.
you need?
I don't know. Give me like 5 of them.
Or like when you're sitting, or where you're sitting somewhere like, I don't know, in somebody's house or something, and you're sitting there adding everything up in your head. How much they can make on eBay right now?
Or you see that one good thing and you're like, oh man, I wish I could get my hands on that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not because you want it, but you want to sell it.
Yeah, because you want to sell.
I want to sell it.
All right. Speaking of selling, I'm out of here. I got to get to work.
All right, Jay. Sure. That.
Yeah. I'm gonna start working on Wednesday after the holiday.
There you go. Good. Sounds good.
All right.
It'll, it's going to be kind of sad because, I mean, this is going to be my first 4th of July without Mike. And his parents always have this tradition, that everyone will go over to his house and blow shit up. And we just have we do bottle rockets. We do all, because they live on a farm. So we can pretty much do anything, set anything afire that we want. And so it's going to be kind of, I don't know. I'm going to be gone for 4th of July this year. So it's going to be kind of sad.
Yeah.
Not being around for that, but.
Well, you have other people keeping your mind off it too a little bit.
True. I get to see my grandson's reaction to the fireworks, and get to hang out with him, and that'll be fun.
Ooh, like I got that one to go through.
Lots of different things coming up, I think. Maybe it's good for a change. Nice silver hair stacker. He just sold a $125 Monopoly set.
Wow.
That is awesome. Very, very nice.
So what Monopoly set was that?
I don't know.
Bolo.
Is it a let's see. Oh, I paid $30 for it. What kind of Monopoly set is it? Like a Oh, Franklin Mint special edition.
Oh yeah, Franklin Mint stuff does do good.
Very, very nice.
Does Franklin do that good?
Yeah, some of that stuff does pretty good.
Is that those cars that we sold?
Those are Danbury Mint.
Oh, Danbury Mint. Yeah, those Danbury Mint cars, they do really good.
Some of them, not all
You
of them.
gotta find this Fox saddle because I won't know what kind that is.
Or are you going to do it right now?
Yes, I am. Yes. Well, no, actually, I can ship the dog wall through one.
Because all you got to do is pick up the flap on the thing, and it will say Foxmeister.
Is there only one Foxmeister?
Yeah. Well, I'll do it because I know you're scared.
Well, yeah, because
Like
if
a
I
little
ship the
girl.
wrong saddle, it's gonna be a big problem. People are when they buy something.
Yep. Blackberry Thistle Tea Bolo time.
Yeah, there you go.
And there's a lot of like the board games and things like that do really well.
Oh, they wanted $65 for a Monopoly game?
I've got an old one, and it's still not listed. I don't know why it's not listed, but it's not listed. And it's probably a 1950s game. It's sealed, never been opened. And it's called Booby Trap. I need to get that thing listed. That'll probably do really good with it being new in the box.
Yeah, New Shield.
Grandma Magic Classic says, I got a small bolo. Lamage plush animals. Fine for $25 and they sell for $20. Oh, okay. I'll have to keep an eye out for that.
I don't have any luck with stuffed animals at all.
I've had some luck, but not extreme, not great.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it just depends on what the item is. So if it's like a a good.
Yes, if I'm ever dead. Here, you just flip this up. See, there's a name.
I mean, I sold that $50 teddy bear that time, but it was an old teddy bear, you know.
Yeah.
If I find the moment of your death, I will.
Otherwise, they just sit and sit and sit for me, and I end up having to lower them down and lower them down.
I don't worry about it.
The Fozzie Bear I sold, that did pretty good, but yeah, otherwise, yeah, most like Disney and stuff, I don't really have much luck with. And
Yeah. I'm gonna go get it real quick.
Sometimes you're going to find that.
well, there's other people that can put no name, plain old Jane stuffed animals up there and get
Yeah.
$30, $40, $50 for them, you know.
I don't do a lot of them, honestly.
Either. It's just too tedious to sit there at the thrift store looking through them all too.
Yeah, it would have to be something very special that spots my eye pretty easily.
Yeah, me too.
Now, sometimes I will pick up like some bigger Lion King ones or something like that. But even those, I mean, they don't sell like bang usually. You sit on them for a little bit.
Yeah.
Stuffed animals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't even usually mess with them.
Yeah. And honestly, like, well, sometimes at my thrift store, like the thrift store, I bought that American Mills for 50 cents, and I only picked it up because I heard Pinching Pesos talk about that one she had.
Yeah, we never saw.
Yeah.
But like the Goodwill, I mean, their plush is expensive. I mean, their big plush is between $8 to $10 at my local Goodwill. You know.
Wow.
So I mean, that's it. If you only get, $29 free shipping, it's gonna take. Even if it's a bigger one, it's gonna take a big box. It's just not a lot of profit on that.
Yeah.
Nikki, our Goodwill is so bad about price checking that I actually gauge like my pricing on electronics. I will go by what our Goodwill is pricing stuff, because like those graphing calculators, I know when they take off, they're seasonal because with back to school, they're those graphing like Texas Instrument. They gotta be the ones with the graph screen though. They can't be just scientific. It's gotta be the one with the graph screen. But you can pick them up in the off season for like a couple bucks. In season, when kids are going back to school, you can get like $30 for them. So when the price jumps up to like $15-$20 for those at Goodwill, I know it's the season to start throwing them up there.
Mm-hmm.
they just totally smartphone everything, and you never get if you buy something in electronics at our Goodwill, you are not going to turn any profit on it because they got it priced right up there. It's ridiculous. And then they wind up going to. We don't have a weigh and pay here. We don't have a weigh and pay closer than 3 hours from here. In Green Bay, I think is our closest weigh and pay. So for Appleton. So all that stuff just winds up getting shipped down to the weigh and pay. It's ridiculous. Why don't they just cut the price here and sell it here instead of shipping it all the way down there? But whatever.
Yeah. You weigh that. You're welcome.
It's their sandbox, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even like their clothes, like their shirts. I mean, if it's a better brand shirt, it's going to be $8.99 to $12.99. Sometimes more.
Mine too.
Like Under Armour shirts in there, they were like $20.
13 ounces. I actually feel sorry for people who you know, I mean, if we wanted to go into a Shopco or whatever and, you know, drop the cash or whatever and pay full retail for clothes or whatever, we could do it. We'd have to do without other things, but yeah, we could do it. I mean, you have people who are just, I mean, they're on the edge. I mean, they're financially, they're in really bad shape. I feel sorry for them now when they go into Goodwill because they're almost paying retail now for stuff.
Yeah.
I thought the whole idea of it was to give, you know, economical alternative to people, you know, low income people, but I guess not anymore.
Oh, Valerie's showing a game. It's something booby trail.
Ooh.
Booby trail?
Booby trap.
Oh.
Oh, booby trail. I was gonna say booby trail, yeah. It was college, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that the one with, board with a spring? It's got a flat wood bar that you pull it back on a spring, and then you put a bunch of round discs in it.
Yeah.
You pull them out. Yeah, I used to love that game when I was a kid. It's sort of like a Jenga with a machine. Because when you pull them out, if it moves too much or whatever, you lose a turn.
I see.
Yeah, I think they're red, yellow, and blue. The wood pegs. They're different sizes.
Yeah. Yep.
I love that game.
So there you go. You can buy it off Valerie.
I'm over it.
Customer Valerie.
I can't eat it right because I love wood, so no.
Oh, Kurt S. His Goodwills don't gouge. I'm really lucky. I get Polaroids electronics for 49 cents.
Oh my god.
Yeah, mine
that's
is
$30. That's a $30 bill right there.
Mm-hmm.
Every time.
Jack Smack said for profit or non-profit point is when they price their stuff too high to sell. If they want eBay and Amazon prices, then they need to sell there. Yeah. Exactly. That's what I say about rummage sales and stuff too, you know. People are like, well, it goes on eBay for this, you know, and it's like, well, then sell it there because you're not going to get that price here.
Yeah. Well, I think like our Goodwill, I suspect what they're doing is they're pricing it up at what it could get on eBay. Because worst case, when the color goes on half, they're going to sell it for half. You know what I mean? You're not going to ever really get like a super smoking deal on it.
Yeah.
They'll put the label, that Rhinelander Goodwill will put a printout of an eBay for sale item, you know, and they'll price it like half what that person's asking. But it's asking. They're not printing up sold. They're printing up an asking. You know, I could list a old pop can for $1 million. Doesn't mean I'm going to get it.
Yeah. Silver Hair Stacker says, I have fallen into several booby traps. Haven't we all? Yeah, Jack Smack says Value Village down the road from us went broke for the exact reason. And ultimately ended up closing out their doors. Yep. I understand.
Or a Disney VHS for $20,000. I have to admit, I bought this VHS tape when that whole thing came out for like a quarter, and I was like, and I told my daughter, I said, yeah, I said this went on eBay for like $5,000, and it did it. There were like 2 or 3 solds for like $5,000, yep. and we were laughing, joking around about it, you know, and I grabbed the VHS and bought it for a quarter, and the lady at the rummage sale, she's like, where did that come from? And the other lady says, oh, I put it out. She goes, I didn't see that. I want that back. I said, well, sale's already done. Sorry. Well, anyways, I told my daughter, I said, yeah, I'm going to throw it up there for $5,000. See what happens. and then it never sold, you know, of course, you know, but I thought for a quarter, I'll try it out.
But I will say I went to my local thrift store the other day, and I was going through, and again, they have like Under Armour shirts are all like $20. I'm like, oh, geez. So I don't find anything. But then I find these two new in the back box. There's some kind of ion module thing. They had them 75 cents a box. I'm like, well, they got to be worth something. For 75 cents a box, I'll buy them. I sold them late last night or this morning for $70 a snap. So they still miss stuff. You know, I'll still peruse them because you might get lucky and then miss something.
Yeah, Jack says you should have told her. Sure, you can have it back. Here's the eBay listing. Yeah, so I'm just going to be doing some listing today. I'm trying to get as much stuff done before I leave. Let's see here. So that's kind of my plan. And then once I get over there, I told my daughter that I probably
I need another one of these. This guy bought two. Carry all.
But I'm gonna try and go to some yard sales. That's why I take my second bag. So my second suitcase, I should say. And I know that they have Goodwill bins, which my youngest daughter, she's never been to the bins before, so we're gonna go experience that. That'll be fun.
If I go to Green Bay, I'll go check out the bins just out of curiosity. I'm not going to diss them. I've never been to one. You just don't have that stuff up here.
Yeah. Because I sell, the majority of what I sell is clothes, and I've actually been kind of thinking about other things that I can sell once I get out of Kansas and, move and everything.
Yeah.
To figure out, other things like hard goods that I can sell rather than clothing. Or maybe just get into like have like one niche of clothing or something like that. But I don't know. We'll just, I just kind of wing it and see what happens.
Okay, be quiet. It's so loud now.
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's laughing at some video.
You gotta go. It's on the reseller happy hour page. They post this. Jim Bennett posted this thing about these two women ranting. It's hilarious.
Oh, it's on the happy hour page. He posted a video that's funny. Jim said.
Go back to hell. Your mom is there waiting for you.
Okay. Okay, watch your language. Oh, and I need another one of these. This guy bought two. He bought two of these blue lines.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad you caught that. Okay. Is that the one that's like 70 something and it replaces another number?
Well, it's 707009. Yeah. It's for McCulloch. Okay. I don't know what tote number it is, but I can bring it up. Or you got your smartphone on you.
Yep.
My computer's like hella glitchy right now.
Nikki, you're on mute.
Whoops. I knew that. I was talking to myself. I don't know which is
I
worse.
see hands moving, and I was like, "What is she doing?"
I don't know which is worse, admitting I was talking to myself or admitting that I was on mute and didn't know it. Which is the lesser of two evils? Which is going to make me sound less stupid? Anyways, I sold a water fountain kind of thing like a few weeks ago on eBay, and they messaged me and says, "Oh, everything works on it, but the water doesn't pump. Do you have a new pump for it?" Which it all worked good when I did it, and but the thing was, is I remember when I did it, I didn't put enough water in it, and it wouldn't pump, and so I added more water, and then it finally pumped. So I messaged them and said, "Tell them to add more water to it. It probably didn't have enough water." Well, I haven't heard nothing else back from them, so hopefully that worked.
Yeah.
Because it was like a $50 water fountain. It's actually worth like $100, but I only paid $2 for it. So when somebody offered me $50 for it, I was like, all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was about, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 days ago, they told me that it wasn't working. So, and I told them what to do. So hopefully I won't hear no more about it. They were like, "You just have a pump that we could put in it?" Yeah, I just carry a replacement pump. That's funny.
Nikki,
Actually, that's not such a dumb question with me, because I'm sure Tara knows. With auction people, you never know what we'll have in our inventory. Like not too long, about a week ago, my nephew called up my husband and was like, "Do you guys have any fire hose?" And he's like, "No, why would we have fire hose?" I said, "Actually, I do have some fire hose." Like,
Yeah, I think we got some.
I was gonna say, yeah, if you need some, I got some.
and he's like, "Oh, I guess we do."
What I'm really looking for is one of them French toilets.
I got one. You can come get it, Jim.
Come on, nobody's got one of those.
oh my gosh.
The boot washer. Remember
There you go.
Crocodile Dundee?
I gotta go get me this other fuel line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should
You watch some kind of.
get it sold. I listed it on Craigslist. Some guy wanted to buy it, but he didn't want to pay shipping for it.
Okay.
Is it pretty heavy?
Well, it's probably, I bet, if it was crated, it'd probably be 80, 90 pounds, I bet.
Probably more than that. Like Jim, on average, a small crate adds another 20 pounds to it. So decent size crate, I mean, that's probably got to go freight, I would guess.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, it could probably go ground. Because I think it could go ground, but it probably costs about $100 at least.
Yeah.
To ship it.
Yeah.
Or around in there. Because if I went ground, I wouldn't be able to use, because it's too heavy for eBay's ground, but if I took it to the office, so I wouldn't get a discount.
I didn't sell the toilet, but I had some American Standard. They're like 1960s sinks and toilets, but they'll be in weird colors like baby blue or burgundy and stuff like that. And I think those sinks, I was selling them for like $250 a pop with the paid shipping. So if you ever run across any of those at auction, they do good.
Yeah.
Shipping them, but they do good.
Yeah. Our what do you call it? Restore. They had a lot of those sinks, those old sinks that were baby blue and stuff and pink.
Yeah.
And I thought of selling them because they were discounting them because they were trying to get rid of them.
Yeah.
And I actually thought of doing it. My husband saw me looking at me. He goes, "Don't you dare."
I've done it. Yeah, do really good. Well, I haven't sold now one for like, so I don't know if the market's changing or not. I haven't looked into it. But, they do. I think you had people that were redoing their house with this mid-century look. In fact, there's there's a lake house up here that Jim's been the caretaker at for ages. Anyway, they have, I don't know, I think they have like 6 bathrooms in that place. Anyway, each bathroom, it was done in 65. So you'll have the baby blue bathroom with the matching toilet, matching bathtub. And then you go on the next one. It's the pink one with the pink sink, toilet, bathtub. And there's a green one. I'm like, oh man, I'd love to have these fixtures to resell.
Jack Smack, never know when you'll need fire hose or a bidet or even a scoreboard.
There you go.
Or a booby trap.
Or a booby trap game, yep.
I went to an auction last night, and I think it's cool. I haven't really looked up if it's worth anything. I think it could be. It's a cigar humidor, but it's probably 4 foot, let's say like 3 foot wide. And it has cool sliding glass doors, and it has an advertisement on it, and it has a special brass plaque with its serial number when it was put out by this cigar company and that. And I only paid $60 for it, but I'm like, God, it's got to be worth a couple hundred, I'm guessing, or maybe a little more.
Yeah.
You're gonna find.
Somebody had a question for you, Sarah. Or Sarah.
Sarah.
Robin
Her
wants,
new name.
Robin wants you to explain how you process or ship larger or bulkier items like that.
How do I process or ship? Well, something that we crate. Well, so typically, like if we buy something that's a bigger thing, Jim's my crate builder. So I'll list it, and when it sells, he puts them in a wood crate, and then he wraps them in cardboard over the wood crate, because there is a charge where they are charging you if it isn't covered in cardboard. We found that out, and that's just how we do it. I mean, Jim's just gotten really good at like building crates.
And
Tara, can you explain how you process larger and bulkier items like that? I'll let you answer.
Oh, and you guys are still live?
Yeah, right there. There's a question.
Yeah, you'd get, if you go to like a building supply place, I use Monopoly. They have, I don't know, furring strips. It's a smaller dimension wood. It's like I don't know, a quarter of the size of a 2x4, and you use that for the wood skeleton, and get yourself what's called a brad nailer, and you can buy brads that are about like, it's for putting up like trim. You can get brads that are like, I don't know, about an inch long, maybe shorter, because you don't want to go through both pieces of wood, and you use that to air nail the internal skeleton of the crate together, and you buy 1/4 inch wafer board, and you saw it to, you know, whatever dimensions each side is, and you nail it together. You put the item inside, and then if you're going to ship FedEx, you got to wrap it in cardboard. Get a regular like Arrow stapler, and encase the whole thing in cardboard, so that you don't get, there's like a $12 charge if it's not encased in cardboard. But I've also found that if I don't wrap them in cardboard, I incur additional mystery charges sometimes, like significant mystery charges, like. And I never get that if I wrap them in cardboard, so I don't know what happens when they don't. When I wasn't shipping them in cardboard, I'd have all these disputes on shipping charges. So, it's worth it just to wrap each one in cardboard, and it takes about 2 hours a crate.
Yeah,
They might have like shrink wrapped it or something themselves to keep it protected. Yeah, because we used to do that. We used to do that with freight. If people would send something that couldn't be like dinged or whatever. A lot of times we would throw shrink wrap on it.
Yeah.
And some stuff that's like really big, too big to pack, we mark it local pickup. And then we would, if they hire like a freight quote company or you ship, and we'll work with them or charge them a pallet charge or something like that. But we don't ship it ourselves. So some of like the bigger stuff is like, I got some motorcycles listed right now. If I list this cigar humidor, that would be a local pickup thing because it's just too big to ship.
And okay, and Jack Smack commented about Smart Post, and I will say this about, and that's a good one, but seriously about Smart Post, check FedEx Ground, because many times, because you're dealing with the post office, FedEx is dealing with the post office too. If it's dimensionally large
or very heavy,
or heavy, your Smart Post is very often more expensive than regular FedEx Ground. So I always check. I use the 3. I use FedEx Ground, I use FedEx Smart Post, and I use Priority. I almost never use Parcel Post because it's almost always the same price as Priority. So, And I can tell you this, if it's within a buck or two, I just go with the priority because you're always going to have a happier customer if they get it faster. The longer they wait, the more less happy they're going to be when they receive the item. So,
and anything we crate, it's got to be worth something. It's got to at least be worth a couple $100. Because
Right.
Jim's time's worth something. Because he'll be out there 2 hours, creating something. So it's got to be something that's worth his time to do it, and the materials and stuff like that.
And Grandma's Magic Classics, I am going to do a crate video, but every time I got to do a crate, I'm just going to have to crate something I don't actually have to ship. Because every time when I'm doing crating, I mean, I have to get that crate out so quickly, I just don't have time to video it. So I'm going to have to item and just crate it to show people how to do it.
He did put some pictures on Alabama Pickers a long time ago.
Yeah.
Where you created that.
But I should do a video, show exactly how you do it. Yeah, because it is hard to explain.
Well, make sure it's something you already have listed, then you'll already have it created, so be ready to go.
Because I learned by error, I learned by feedback. I got a feedback from a guy. He's like, it's a good thing this engine crate stayed together. The guy, good thing you used straps because the whole box is falling apart. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't strap it. So that means UPS strapped it near me. So I'm like, so then I realized I needed to make a skeleton, or I made a frame on the outside of the crate, and that didn't work well. So then I came up with the internal skeleton of the. I frame it on the inside, and then I air nail the sides to the internal skeleton. And you got to use an air nailer. You can't use a hammer and nails; it just don't work.
Yeah.
For speed, I mean, you can't. If I had a hand nail every one of them together, I'd never get them.
It would take forever.
It takes 2 hours as it is. I mean.
Yeah, and he's got a whole station set up with a radial arm saw, the table saw, a table to assemble the thing on, and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you should learn how to use a table saw and stuff because they're dangerous, but they're very inexpensive. You're like, oh wow, this guy's got all these fancy woodworking tools.
We buy them at auctions.
I know nothing about woodworking. I never took wood shop. I'm very cautious because I'm afraid I'm going to lose my fingers. But I use it very carefully because I have no formal training in using those things, which if I do a video, I'm not going to do anything on cutting. You're going to have to watch your own videos on that.
She wants to know if you've ever used recycled pallets to crate, not to build a crate.
No, the reason I don't is it's so cheap to go to one of these stores. I wish I had a piece of the wood. The wood ain't much bigger than this piece of styrofoam.
Yeah.
It's these, they call them furring strips, and they're about this thick. They're a little bit wider than this, and they're 88 cents a piece for an 8-foot long strip. Why not just use new, clean, not slivery wood? Because pallets are all slivery and stuff. So you can get the brand new material at the lumber place really cheap, and the 1/4 inch OSB. Obviously a quarter inch. It's pretty thin and not super heavy. It's pretty. I would say it's definitely lighter weight than pallet wood. So you're going to save something on your weight. Because if you get over 70 pounds, you can't ship FedEx. Then you got to go to UPS. UPS will go up to 150 pounds. But I can tell you, when you get north of 100 pounds of UPS, you're paying for it. It ain't going to ship cheap. And you get over 150, now you're freight. And then now it gets real expensive, like $200 to $300 starting out.
Yeah, we shipped something freight, and we had to have the freight semi come to our house to pick the item up. We couldn't drop it off anywhere.
Yeah. One thing we do, guys, it might help you out, Jim, as far as strapping goes. I have one of those metal banders, but one thing that we've noted, what we've started doing instead of doing the metal banding, we go to Menards, because you guys have a Menards, and you can get these red strips. They're straps. They're about that wide, and they're perfect for this kind of stuff. And you can get them in a 2-pack for like $4.
Huh.
And anything that I think needs to be strapped, or if I have to strap something on a pallet or something, I go and I get those. I keep them on hand. They're these red straps, and they're ratchet straps,
Yep.
and that you use on trailers and stuff. Anyways, they're really good straps, and you get them.
Oh yeah, okay. Then you just leave it and ship it with it on the thing. Yeah,
and we've had to use like a pallet for if we had a couple freight quotes things that shipped out, like these video gaming machines and stuff, where we've had to shrink wrap it onto a pallet. But that would be the only case we've ever used a pallet.
Yeah.
A gasoline pump we had to do to a pallet too.
And shrink wrap works really good too. But yeah, I mean, if we ever think we need to use a strap, we just go and get those red straps from Menards. You can get them, like I said, 2-pack for $4.
Yeah, and they're indestructible.
Yeah, and again, there was some more mention of like free pallets to use for materials. And if you're putting something on a pallet and it's going freight, all right, I get that. But if you're building a crate, again, I'm going to kind of stick from experience. I'm going to say I would just go get the new material, because what you do is you have this material sit, like I have my 4x8 sheets of OSB, a 1/4 inch OSB, and I have those furring strips, and they're there. And I know every time I work with one, I know exactly I'm working with the same thing over and over. It makes it a lot faster. If you're if you're prying apart a pallet, and you know how pallets are, they're all made by different companies, so they're all like different dimensions and stuff. You're constantly making adjustments for this different type of material you're working with. If you're going to do any number of crates, I would say I would stick with new material. It's dirt compared to what all your other expenses. The cost of the materials for building crates is dirt cheap.
Yeah. And
a brad nailer, you can buy a Bostitch or a lower quality brad nailer at a big box lumber place for like around, depending on the quality, probably 50 or even lower. I've seen like 40 to probably $80. Mine's a Bostitch. It costs a little bit more, but it doesn't jam. It's a pretty good air nailer. So, because if you're in there, well, and then you need a pancake compressor or some type of compressor goes up to around 90 pounds and has probably about at least a 3-gallon air tank on it. So, but most of the people have this stuff around the garage. You know, they have a compressor that you inflate tires with and stuff in your garage. So it doesn't. And then you go to an auction. You can pick up I bought mine new because it was before I was going to auctions. But you can pick up a pancake contractor's compressor at an auction. I mean, I rarely see them go over $50.
Yeah.
So.
I have a big air compressor. My husband is a woodworker. My husband is a woodworker, and he drives me nuts when he makes crates, because it's like everything has to be just so. And he's like, "Do you want to get it there or not?" I'm like, "I want you to hurry up."
Yeah, no, I'm not a cabinet maker. When this crate goes out, I mean, I do it fast and as fast as possible. I have a jigsaw sitting plugged in right next to my workbench. If I make a mistake, I just use the jigsaw to trim it. You know, if I have the board doesn't cut exactly straight or whatever. But if you start using a radial arm saw and a table saw, you're not going to have most of the stuff when you cut it, you cut it right because you're using the right stuff. If you're in there trying to use a skill saw, you know, on 2 sawhorses or something, I did it, but it's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Now the crate turns into an all-day stressful thing where instead of being like a two-hour, not all that stressful event.
But like anything, once you start selling big stuff and shipping it out, it becomes a normal thing. It's no more stressful than your regular packaging because you're used to it. I mean, yeah, it is a pain in the butt. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking anything away from Jim or my husband, but
you don't have to sell everything. Like if you see a good deal on a no, not like but I mean, just because you see a good deal at an auction on a large, heavy, hard to ship item doesn't mean you have to buy it. If you're not set up to ship it or you don't want to get into that, just readjust your buying. You know, or just buy stuff that's easier for you to ship, and you're still going to get enough stuff to make a living on it.
Yeah.
So, but if you want to crate, I'm going to do a video on how to do it. So I just got to get caught up here so I can do another video.
That'd be a good video.
All right. Well, I gotta go back to crate, and I gotta go.
Did you bring in my second fuel line?
No, I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna crate right now. I'm gonna crate a thing that throws tennis balls for dogs.
Yeah, and it definitely has to be worth it. You know.
Yes, it has to be something that is a good price.
We used to buy anything that was a good deal, and now we got a building full of stuff that's a lot of it we can't even ship. It's so big, you know.
Yeah.
And there's even some stuff like that bidet and that scoreboard and stuff that I won't ship. I just say no. I'm going to do it locally.
I have stuff on local pickup. I have a really cool big Honda small engine sign. It's too big for me to ship, and I just have it from local pickup. And I'll sell them local pickup. People drive up from. I have people drive up from Illinois. I've had people drive up from Indiana, Minnesota. They just come and get it if they want it.
Yep. I sold some implements for our, we have an Aaron's, whatever, I can't remember, some kind of lawn tractor anyways. And the thing never ran right. We bought it at an auction, but the implements are worth, quite a bit of money. So yeah, I mean, I sold the snow blower off of it. I sold the rototiller off of it, the attachments, and I sold them in upwards. One I was sold for like $300. Another one I sold for like $500. And yeah, I just put local pickup on it. And one was actually in Duluth who bought it, which was good. And I told him I'll just shoot up there and bring it to you, no big deal. That was the $500 one. And then because I'm in town all the time, anyways, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's no big deal just to hook a trailer on and take it up there. And then another guy was from Chicago, Illinois. Him and his wife says, well, we're just going to make a weekend of it. We like the area up there, so I'll just come up and get it, you know,
Yeah.
if you don't mind. And so I brought it to my dad's house because my dad has a cherry picker, and when we have like a hoist or whatever, but the cherry picker is a lot nicer. So I just brought it to my dad's house, left it on the trailer, left the trailer there. And then the guy came and picked it up. We picked it up with the cherry picker, put it on his little trailer, strapped it down, and away he went. He was happy as a lark.
Yesterday we sold one of these blacksmith leg vices. It's a vice and it's got like a post that goes down and then you clamp it to your bench or whatever. Anyway, it's in one of my videos. But anyway, so we sold it yesterday and I was really happy because it sold to somebody in Rylander, which is about a half hour south of us. We were going to that auction anyway. So the guy's like, when can I come and get it? We're like, well, we'll just drop it off because we're going through Rylander anyway. But I'm just like really happy because Jim didn't have to crate that one, you know. And that's the kind of stuff we crate because that is not going to make it in a cardboard box. No way.
Yeah.
You know, it's cast iron. It weighs probably on its own 60 pounds. There's no way that will make it in a destination, a cardboard box, because it'll bust through.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and that was the hospital beds I sold. Oh, I only sold those on Craigslist. I had them on eBay, but yeah, all that stuff, all that big machinery that I sold last year for my husband's company, that all went local pickup or you arrange freight, and that's what I always put in there. Buyer arranges freight or shipping, or it's local pickup. Then if somebody wants me to crate it or palletize it, you know, it costs them a little extra. Worked nice on those beds though. They were pretty nice. They I told her it would probably be like $50 to palletize it, and they actually gave me $150 to do it because they were appreciative.
Yeah.
I was like, sweet.
And most of the stuff, like the freight quote stuff, it is, I mean, if we do one a year, like that goes U-ship or freight quote, we got to palletize it. That's it. We just don't really do a lot of that kind of stuff.
No.
A lot of the people, it ends up being a local pickup or whatever, or even like U-ship. You know, sometimes we've had like a snowmobile that was a couple that went U-ship. They just load them up. You don't have to like put them on anything.
Yeah. No. But like I said, once you start getting used to doing that big stuff, it really doesn't. It's really not that big of a deal, you know.
Yeah.
Not saying that his crating isn't hard, because it is. I mean, my husband crates stuff, but if you just get used to it, you know.
Well,
it's not.
And you're like me. We're up here in Wisconsin. We're on the edge of farm country. There's stuff you're going to repeatedly see over and over again. The leg vices. I probably sell at least 4 of those a year. You know, the drill press, the cast iron crank one that goes on the wall. I mean, I find these at farm auctions all the time, and I know what I can get for them. So I sell a lot of those are repeat stuff. You know, like Mill Falls stuff. I mean, like these drill presses, these crank drill presses. And you got guys out there that collect them or whatever, but you're going to have to put them in a crate.
Yep. And when sometimes I'll be like, oh man, why in the hell did I sell that? You know, why did I do this to myself? But then you look at your profits and you're like, oh yeah, that's right. That's why I did it.
No, Third Daddy asked if we ever got hurt doing this. Well, Jim has a little bit of a hernia, so sometimes if he lifts too much, then he complains about that. But
yeah,
anyway, I don't think like anything like hurt really bad. No. He hasn't cut off any fingers yet, so that's good.
Luckily, knock on wood, huh?
Knock on wood.
Yeah. Yeah, and my husband, he has a whole shop set up anyways, so, because he's a woodworker himself. So it works really well for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the thing with making crates, it was like a development over time. It was like, well, it started with we were doing a lot of liquidating a lot of snowmobiles, and we were parting a lot of snowmobiles out. And like for the engines of that, it just evolved over time where we realized that these engines make it there safer is if we build them in a crate, put them in a box and stuff. And it just evolved over time from that.
Yep.
Man, it got quiet.
Yeah. End of story.
Everything just stopped.
That's how it is when you're from like Minnesota and Wisconsin. That's it. End of story.
End of story.
End of story.
We're done talking about what we wanted to talk about. No, we're done.
Well, there you go. There you have it. End of story.
Oofta. I said that the other day, and my daughter goes, "What did you say?" I said, "Oofta." She goes, "What is that?"
Did you see my keychain, Tara?
I
earlier?
did. You should sell them. You should market them like on your Popular Picker channel. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Some kind of like discounted retail buy in bulk on them.
Yep. Serious. People would buy those.
Yeah. I used to have a coffee cup that said Oofta. It had a Minnesota license plate on it and said Oofta.
Yeah. See, we don't say oofta too much over here in Wisconsin. That's a Minnesota thing.
Yeah.
We get a lot of, yeah, hey over here because we're by the UP.
Yeah. Well, if you notice, I say yeah a lot. And
yeah. But do you put the hey behind it? Do you put the hey? Yeah, hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
I do say a lot though.
Oh.
My dad said that comes from my grandpa. My grandpa used to say that a lot. I've gotten a little better with it because I try to watch it because it's something that people tease me about. So I try to watch it. Ever since the movie Fargo came out, I really am very self-conscious about the way I talk because I noticed in the movie that they didn't sound that odd to me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And when I went on my trainer's truck, when I started driving truck, I went to truck driving school, and then I got a trainer from Oregon. And when I went on his truck, he was talking to his sister one day, and he says, "Yeah, I got a girl from Minnesota on my truck." And she's like, "Oh, does she talk like the movie Fargo?" He goes, "I don't know. I never seen Fargo. Here, talk to her." And so he goes, "She wants to know if you talk like the movie Fargo." So of course I had to, really, really get in there, and talk like that, and she's like, "Oh my God, she does sound just like the movie Fargo." Yeah. Yeah, we're not quite as bad as the movie Fargo, but yeah, we're close.
Sometimes I get some similarities between it.
Yeah. But they don't talk like that down in Le Sueur, like they said on the movie. I mean, they don't talk like that down farther south.
Yeah.
Those of us that live up here by Canada, we talk like that.
I'm originally from Milwaukee, and down there they don't talk like that. But I will say, when you get in this north half of the state where you're getting closer to the UP and Michigan and Minnesota, yes, there is a different dialect or accent up here than you would have in southern Wisconsin.
Yeah. There's that one girl, I was talking to her down in Texas when I was driving truck, and I was down in Texas or Florida or somewhere down there. Anyway, she's like, "You're from one of those Oda states, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah, I'm from Minnesota." Or when I used to do customer service on the phone, a lot of people would be like, "Are you from Canada?" "No, close, Minnesota."
My insurance company was from Colorado, and they're like, "Oh, we could tell you from Wisconsin." I'm like, "Well, really?" Because I don't think when I hear it, I don't think, "Oh, I really sound that way." But what's really weird is if I hear myself talking in a video where my voice is recorded, I mean, I'm like, do I sound like that? Because I mean, even like
I know.
the depth of my voice, I mean, I'm like, I don't think I sound like that. It's weird when you hear yourself talk and you don't think you sound like you do.
Well, you sound normal to me.
Probably because you're used to it, you know.
Well, we're about straight across from each other, aren't we? So that's not saying much. Yeah, that's all right.
Have you and Tara like done a meetup or anything like that?
Mm-mm.
I haven't
You
been
haven't
up
met.
that far north.
Oh,
She's about, I would say, 3 hours from me.
Yeah.
Right, Nikki?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. I just haven't been up that way. If I ever get up that way, I'll tell her I'm coming.
Yeah, same here.
And vice versa. If she ever comes
Yeah.
down this way.
Maybe I'll find something somewhere that I gotta go pick up or whatever.
Yeah.
Actually, there's some tractors. My husband is I don't know if he checked on them or not, but he was talking about some tractors over in your area, and I was like, oh, I could go see Tara and Jim.
There you go. I was up in Ashland last summer, but of course I didn't know you then, and I picked up a boat in Ashland, which you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we do end up doing stuff like that.
Yep, that's true. Because we're always going and traveling to get tractors and stuff, you know.
Oh, we don't travel to buy as much big. We don't. We want to move. We got our property up for sale, or that part of it. So I will say right now, we're just not buying a bunch of big stuff. You know, like 8 years ago, I was like, yeah, bring it. You know, it don't matter how much big stuff we have. We're not going anywhere. But I will say right now, we're just not buying very much big stuff where I travel to go get it either.
Do I go through your place to go to Michigan?
No, because you could go to Michigan through Hurley.
Yeah, Highway 2.
Yeah.
We go across Highway 2 and we go to Michigan.
Yeah.
And then down.
I'm down from there. I would be like at Waters Meet. Highway 2 goes through Waters Meet. I'm probably about like 3 minutes south of Waters Meet.
Oh.
Which Waters Meet, claim to fame. Remember on the Jay Leno show when they were having the Waters Meet Nimrods? They'd have that interview that Jay Leno would do. That's where.
Yeah. Of course, we got to be associated with the Nimrods.
It's something with mining, I think. It's something with mining, I think.
Oh.
That it's their name. It's not like that they're dumb. It's their name.
Oh.
I think it's something to do. I think a Nimrod is something to do with mining.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. There ain't really anything in Waters Meet other than a casino.
There we go again. We're done talking. That's it.
Yeah, there you go. No, I was going to try to look up what a Nimrod means, but.
Maureen says it's a name in the Bible.
Oh no, I think it's something because I remember Jay Leno would have like the girls' basketball or something, so he'd have them on like once a week and interview them or whatever. It was kind of a little joke thing. I don't remember, and they said what it was.
Oh, and I was down in Oklahoma, and I stopped at that diner I posted the picture of. Our waitress, I just loved listening to her. She had that whole Southern Belle thing going on, just this sweet Southern voice. I mean, I'm not weird or anything, but yeah. And I mean, it just, yeah, I just could sit and listen to her all day. She just was, you know, just so bubbly and that sweet Southern accent. I just thought it was the neatest thing. I just loved her accent.
Yeah.
And I mean, she said things like, what do they call down south when you go to, sermon. I think there was something else she said, not sermon. It's almost like the service, you know. I can't remember what it was now. Dang it. Anyways, it was so cool the way she was talking to this older couple who was all dressed up from church, you know. They don't call it church, they call it something else, and yeah, it was really cool. And it was such a neat accent. I mean, just the perfect Southern Belle accent.
Yeah.
The proper, you know, talked proper, no slang, just, I mean, it was slang, but it was, I don't know how to explain it. It was just neat.
Yeah, there was, who was it? It was when I went to North Carolina, there was a lady, you could tell she was from there. But she just had this twang in her voice that was just so,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just told her, I said, I love the way you talk.
Yeah. And I think it's cute when little kids talk like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I think that is just adorable. Yeah.
I'm kind of looking forward to my grandkids having that country, you know, accent.
Yeah.
Like Kyrie, she's saying bye, but she'll say bye. Bye. Oh. But let's see.
And I can hear the Michigan coming into Sally's voice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely become a Michigander. I can hear it in her voice.
Yeah.
Because my half my family's from Michigan, so yeah. I know it well.
Yeah, I mean, like the UP has a little bit of a different dialect than the Lower Peninsula, you know.
Yeah.
What I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But a lot of Michigan is imports. There are a lot of people coming from other places. So that's why I think they have that certain dialect, because it's everywhere else plus Michigan. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's funny, you have like a lot of Italians up in the UP. Like over by Iron Mountain and that, or Marquette, you have a lot of like Italian people up there.
Yeah. We have a lot of Italians here.
Yeah.
Me one. I am.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm old Wisconsin German with some Polak mixed in.
My husband's German, so and my husband's grandma was Bohunk.
What the heck's a Bohunk?
From Bohemia.
Oh, okay.
So my daughters have Italian, German, and Bohemian in them. Oh. So they poor girls. They're ornerier than. They never get a bad attitude from this mild-tempered Italian, you know.
Oh yeah. And you mix some hard-headed German in there, and then you really got a combo.
That's why I always tell my husband, I said, the girls didn't get that way from this mild-tempered Italian. He's like, yeah, mild-tempered my ass. I never yell. I used to have a shirt that said, I'm not yelling, I'm just Italian. Because I am a loudmouth.
No.
No. Well, you had to be heard. Because half the Italians, they talk so loud, half of them lose their hearing before they're 30, you know?
Well, that makes sense. That does make sense.
We grew up with everybody screaming and don't have any hearing left.
Yeah.
But our family reunions were like that. I mean, just loud, you know? I mean, people would be staring at us in the park. They'd think we were fighting, and we're not. Okay, I'm done. That's it.
That's it. End of story.
Now I'm really self-conscious about that.
It's true, though.
It is.
Because you feel like a upper Midwest person, they'll tell this whole story and just keep going, and then bam, that's it. Just shut it down.
I'm done.
Well, I guess on that note,
We're all done.
I hope everybody has a good day, and we'll wrap it up. I'm gonna get some work done here, and
So there's, oh, it's tomorrow's Friday. Never mind.
yeah, tomorrow's Friday.
I was ready to be done with the whole week.
I think we'll do a challenge for when I'm gone or something.
Yeah.
Guys against the girls. I always like that.
Yeah.
You all have to think of something.
I go home and take a shower.
All right. Well, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Hope everybody has a good day and get some listing done. And Hank Allen Cash, I'm gonna miss you too. But I'll be around just to be able to see my ugly mug. Well, we'll see y'all later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.